Hi guys, today's video is about analyzing the factors which are promoting a rapid growth in India. So to analyze these factors, we need a very good reliable source and a reliable research and reliable reports. So for that, we will be using investindia.gov.in. Okay, the research and analysis is done by the strategic investment research unit, which acts like a knowledge repository for the government. So whenever Indian government politicians or the Indian government goes to pitch with the foreign investors, they use these research reports. So that means this research report can be taken seriously while we decide on our investment strategies. So let's jump into this report. Currently I am on this website Invest India. On the main menu, if you go to intelligence, you find reports and research. If you open this, you'll come on this page, and then I am interested about the latest report published just a few days before, that is on September 15th, which says that India's investment strategy for a $30 trillion economy by 2047. So that is 100 years of our independence from the colonial rule. So you can click on this report and you can download the report. Once you download, you can come to Adobe. On Adobe, you can see you have 26 pages in this report, and this is very easy English. So I recommend each of the investor, whoever is browsing my content on YouTube, please read through this report. You will get lot of knowledge on how our Indian economy is set to grow at a rapid pace. Now, in this report, on the second page, you can find that by 2022, India is at $3.1 trillion GDP, and then by 2034, they estimate it to be $10.4 trillion. So we'll just take an compounded average. Here is the beginning value, ending value, number of years. We had subtracted 2034 minus 2022, so 12 years. So if you place these values, I can show you the values again. So I'll just take off this formula. I can say like equal to two brackets, and then I need ending value, that is the future value, that is $10.4 trillion divided by the current value, which is $3.1 trillion, and then we need power of 1 by n. So again, open the bracket, 1 divided by number of years, we take it as 12, close it, close the brackets, and minus 1. That gives you 0.11. If you multiply this with 100 into 100, gives you a compounded average rate of growth at 10.61% for the Indian economy. That is what this report is projecting currently. Okay, now let's scroll down further. You can find all the details in this report. They had given from what all sources they had gathered information to make this report. Very clearly the sources are mentioned, the website links are given. So the first important point in this report that is to be noted is India reached $1 trillion economy in the year 2007, that is after 60 years of independence, and they added one more $1 trillion, that is India became $2 trillion economy within next 7 years, that is in 2014. And within the next 5 years, by 2019, we added another $1 trillion to our economy, making it a $3 trillion economy. So after 2019, everyone knows the COVID wave and all the things happened for 2 years. But again in 2022, we are more or less near to that ballpark figure of $3 trillion economy. So as the global situation is also on the similar scale. Okay, but right now they are saying that India would add $1 trillion to its economy every 2 years. $1 trillion every 2 years. So if you take the average for 1 year, it's like $500 billion. So we are adding one Pakistan to our economy every year, more than one Pakistan economy, because Pakistan economy is currently at $340 billion, if I am not wrong. So if you are adding $500 billion, it's 1.5 of Pakistan. So how this will continue? This will continue for next 14 to 15 years. So every 2 years, Indian economy will add $1 trillion, as per the research report generated by Center for Economics and Business Research 2022. Okay, and you can see another report, which is this graph is taken from IMF website. They had given the website link over here, and on this website they had taken some other data, like how would be the growth in top 5 economies in the world, that is USA, China, Japan, Germany and India. Each of the country they had given some briefing, like what each country would be growing at what rate each of these countries would grow at. Now the important point that we need to observe is the private sector has improved its spending. So whenever private sector is improving its spending, they are anticipating that there is a larger prospectus for succeeding in the business or generating a huge revenue for their investment. So no capitalist, I mean to say no business person, would spend more money if he doesn't anticipate similar kind of returns. So there is an increased spending in the private sector. Banks have also benefited from corporate deleveraging, improving their balance sheets and helping them emerge from the asset quality cycle. Okay, even for banks, RBI is pushing lot of money into the economy. Because RBI is pushing money into the economy, banks are able to give more loans to the required corporates or required business houses. Okay, and the government is able to generate high revenue because of GST and direct tax collections. They had made it easy for collection of indirect taxes. So there is a growth in the government resources. Okay, and then they specify that the consumer demand remains strong even on economic global slowdown. So even the global economy is slowing down, our local economy has a very good consumer demand. That is evidenced by growth in the retail industry and the profit performance of consumer staples. Okay, you can see this point. Now GDP across the states for 2021 to 2022. So you can see several states. Maharashtra is leading, Gujarat the next, the West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka. So they had given which states are contributing for most of the GDP in India. Okay, now medium term growth prospects. In this also they had mentioned that India would be growing at projected growth of 8.1% or 5.5% for 2023 and 2024. But IMF had revised it and stated that it would grow at 9.7% in 2022 and 7.5% in 2023. Okay. Now, so after this thing, we have another point. India GDP numbers showed the economy grew by 13.5% in the April-June quarter of 2023. So you can see, guys, we had it's a fastest growing economy for this quarter. It's all over the news that our economy from April to June, this quarter, the first quarter of 2023, had grown by 13.5%. That is basically due to Make in India programs, and then they have a production based incentives in the manufacturing sector. Production based incentive is given to the company who is the manufacturer of certain products, like in the automobile industry. The government is giving this incentive to EV vehicle manufacturers. On a sale of a vehicle, they get some refund for what they had paid. Like they might get a tax benefit, they might get a GST benefit, or they might even get a share in the sale, like whatever they are selling. In that, a part of price would be returned back to the industry. So this is the one thing which happens. And then there is Skill India to improve the employability of workforce. Skill India is basically like training the illiterates or backward class people. Backward class people, I mean to say the rural population who had never completed their 10th class or 12th class. They take them into the government program of Skill India. They train them in different sectors, from stitching to electronics to mobile repairs to certain. There are so many sectors in Skill India, and you can see that is one of the reform which is working very well. And then you have GST reform, which made it easy for paying the indirect tax system in the country, and startups India to encourage entrepreneurship. So the startup environment is also very open up now in India. There are several startups, and they had made reforms in FDI policy. Before FDIs, see, FDIs and FIIs are very different, guys. FDI is a company or a person who invest in India to open a company and perform the operations a company in that sector performs. Suppose Donald Trump, the former US president, had done an FDI investment in India to build some Trump towers or something under Trump constructions. They had placed 100% FDI, so it's 100% foreign direct investment in India. I heard they are selling each flat at a rate of 7.5 crores. That is very posh locality in Mumbai, so they are charging very high price. So India recently started to allow 100% FDI investors in certain sectors of our country. Okay, one of that sector is real estate sector. So reforms in FDI policy had attracted more foreign investments. So FDIs traditionally, they help government in several ways. They generate employment opportunities for the local talent, and then they pay back taxes and whatever indirect tax, direct tax to the company, and they also serve the corporate social responsibility. The CSR is also done by them. So these things, it supports the economy of that country. Whereas FIIs, foreign institutional investments, these guys invest in the stock market. They purchase some quantity in certain stocks which they feel there is a growth perspective possible, and these investments do not create any job opportunities, or they don't pay much taxes like the FDIs. They might be even for a smaller period of time. They might invest only for 2 months, 6 months, and even sometimes in days. If they get higher return for their investment, they might always sell off their position and book their profits. So FII is very different from FDI. As you scroll down, you can see the different links from where the data is extracted, and they had given so many details, guys. I am not going deep into those things. The foreign direct investments as on 2021, you can see it's increasing year by year. 2023 currently it's at $70 billion, but it will increase because we still have 3 more months to go. There are 2 more quarters for our financial year to end. So literally we have 2 quarters to end. So within 2 quarters, if we get another 70 billions, this would be a great news. Then in March there would be a lot of news in the financial magazines that India attracted around $140 billion as FDIs into India. And then coming, they had just given state-wise like how many foreign FDIs are active in a state, and highest active state is Gujarat. They are getting highest FDIs, and then emerging leaders are Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh, and etc. And then you have people lagging FDIs investment. So these are the states where the FDIs are least interested or less interested. Okay. And then MSME, they had given the figures. You can see in MSME the major change right now is there are a lot of MSME registrations, MSME startups from the rural part of India. It's not from the urban part of India. So it is a indication that the rural part of India is getting educated. They are also getting developed, and it's high time that government concentrate on developing infrastructure, like connecting the rural parts of India with the major urban parts with the proper infrastructure, that is proper roads, rail connections, air connections, air connectivity, logistic connections, and all these things, guys. So this would help the rural MSME to grow at a much faster pace. And you can see this point over here. They are creating around 6.3 crores of MSMEs in the country, which provide job for 11.1 crore jobs. So it's 11.1 crore people, 11 crore people are getting jobs from MSME, and they also contribute around 30% to our GDP. So out of 3 trillion, if you calculate 30%, it's like almost $900 billion is contributed by MSME in India. Okay. So they had given state level analysis. You can go through this report. They had given number of companies, and they had also given number of they had given number of startups. So each startup is like valuing around they said like there are around 600 startups where the net worth is around 500 billion, that is half a billion. And to keep up this growth rate, India needs to have at least, it needs to triple its quantity for that. So they are saying like India should have at least 2000 companies where the net worth of the company, of each company, is around half a billion. So this is the thing I'm searching for. Yeah, here you can see this on 18th page. okay, according to McKinsey report 2020. And then you can see number of startups. In 2016 we are in hundreds, from 452. There is a sudden jump in 2017, it's 5147, and by 2023 you can see it is like 26,542. Another important point to note is in the global economy growth, India is the leading contributor for global economic growth. So global means all the countries put together, whatever economy is coming, in that economy the leading contributor is India as per this report. So if you study this report in detail, you understand that we have a very good opportunity to invest our money in the Indian markets. There is no need to search for foreign investment opportunities. India itself will be on a very, very high bull run, guys, because if you are saying our economy is going to get 200% growth within next 10 years, so you can guess what is the growth rate which you can earn from your investments in the market. So I suggest, and I once again I'm making this video to make all passive investors aware that this is the right time for you to invest in index funds. So I am not a registered SEBI registered consultant or a research analyst to advise you. So please take your financial advisor suggestion and please act upon it. But this information is very good for any investor who is looking for an opportunity to invest in Indian markets. Thank you. If you do have any comments, please comment below. Thank you.